tank to get themselves out of it. Huddersfield got smashed on, 4-1 against Preston midweek. They're their immediate rivals. Plymouth can be dragged into it. Millwall can be dragged back into it. Yeah. Still, they probably need 49 points to stay up.
I mean, there's messages coming in. Birmingham City staging NFL games. Good luck with that. How about staying in the division? Dave's an Aston Villa fan. Birmingham City are a laughing stock. They'll never be anywhere near as big as Villa. Unbelievable. Always be our poor neighbours. Do football clubs benefit from American ambition?
I'm sorry, but I imagine there was a lot of Manchester United fans that laughed at Manchester City when they landed in League One. And it took Paul Dick off penalties to get them out of League One, and then you've got different ownership changes. If these guys have made mistakes, which they clearly have on the football field, and in conjunction with the management decisions they've made, that's why I keep on going on about Gary Cook and the decisions that he would have helped them make, because I do think it's preposterous that someone supposed to know the industry and know his way around has encouraged these guys that are learning their trade and learning the landscape to make football decisions. But their overall position, when I walked into Palace, I said similar things, that it was my ambition to put Palace in the Premier League within 5 years. It was my ambition to make them the third or fourth biggest club in London. And all of those at the time would have been listening to that going, oh yeah, really? Your club's been in administration for 18 months, you nearly got relegated last season.
Do you regret saying all that?
No, because I put them in the Premier League within 5 years. And you have to have ambitions, you have to have visions, you have to bring people with you.
But that was about it. I mean, we didn't have Tina Turner performing there on a regular basis.
But football's changed.
We didn't have NFL matches there.
But football's matured, because it is ridiculous. But what other business would suggest, and football's now a business, that you have a stadium that opens once every 2 weeks and you do nothing else with it besides pay bills on it?
No, I get that. But I mean, the clues on the wall outside the Birmingham City Football Club, they've got to be seen to be a successful football club before any of the other stuff can start coming into play.
Absolutely right. But sometimes in life, tragically, things don't play out the way you want them to, and sometimes you have to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. Nobody wants to do that, and I'm not advocating that's the blueprint you should follow. Yeah. Right now, Birmingham are on the field making their owners look foolish because their owners have made foolish decisions.
Right.
Now, whether their owners are going to abdicate responsibility, or whether they're going to go, right, whatever comes our way, which I think they're probably going to have, probably will do, is we will be the ones that have to bankroll this. We will be the ones that have to bridge the gap for our own decisions. And I'm sorry, fans, we've let you down because the team isn't performing the way we thought it should do. We made decisions based on autograph Wayne Rooney. But you've got to move past just the micromanagement and low-level thinking it's just the point of Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
And look at what they will build there in the end.
I get it. Do you know what? There are a few Birmingham fans going with the Big Tony. I don't know what Little Tony's doing this morning, but Big Tony in Birmingham says, I'm not worried about Birmingham going down. It's been coming for years.
Alexa, turn it up, please.
The only way is up from this point onwards. Manchester City went down, as Simon says, to League One 25 years ago. Look at them now. Keep right on, says Big Tony in Birmingham this morning. If you're a Birmingham fan, do you share the same view? Are you optimistic that, all right, it's a kick in the teeth at the moment, they might drop down to League One, but they'll be back? Or do you think, no, hang on, League One next season? That would be a disaster. 03717 223344 81089.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Stacks of stock and hundreds of big name trade brands at SelcoBW.com. We've got it. White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the race course shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out is coming. Here they've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max 1 reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
Shoppers of Britain, Lidl's got a fresh pick of the week. Save up to 30% on selected fruit and veg, like a bag of tria leaf lettuce or British cauliflower for only 89p each, or a refreshing cucumber at just 69p. Make savings part of your 5 a day and get even more in store now. Now that's big on quality and always little on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, GB only.
Hi all.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
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 Let's get this meeting.
Meeting started.
Come on.
Where's the tablet gone?
When everyone's home, EE Work Mode prioritizes your broadband for working from home with faster speeds in more places than anyone else. So,
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear as a bell.
this is broadband made for working from home. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT.
code with EE Smarter Plus to verify ee.co.uk/claims.
We always back an arse in the Grand National.
Just can't beat it. That's the one everyone wants to win.
I love the National, but absolutely zero strategy behind who I choose.
I'm an each way man. I'll pick someone further downfield.
To be honest, my favourite, eh?
I always pick the favourite.
I back the outsider.
Whatever colour top they're wearing, that's me.
However you pick your Grand National horse, bet Fred. Love the National,
Bet Fred.
18 plus, begambleaware.org. The Masters, teeing off on now.
Now he's absolutely launched that.
Oh, now. Woods is in the woods.
Now that's just magic. That's a drive.
Oh, now he's just pulled that shot.
Oh, now is this the type that wins him the green jacket? There it is.
Stream The Masters and all of Sky Sports without a contract. Head to nowtv.com.
Sky Sports content streamed via internet. 18 plus. All terms apply.
The manager subbing on the big man. And another change now. Rogers comes on, the veteran right back. And now the third choice goalie enters the field. They can barely contain themselves here. The new super sub from Paddy Power. All subs are now super. Because if a player in your bet is subbed off, it carries over to the new player coming on. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualifying player and selections only. T's and C's and apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. On your mobile and on your smart speaker. Talk Sport. Talk Sport. News.
Good morning. The waiting list for routine hospital treatment in England has fallen for the 5th month in a row to 6.29 million people. The number of people waiting more than a year has decreased by about 15,000 people, but it's still 305,000. Former Health Minister Lord Bethell told us high demand is sometimes preventable.
A lot of this is connected with obesity. These are the kinds of underlying health issues that we need to prioritise, not just the waiting list.
Boris Johnson's called Rishi Sunak's plan to eventually ban smoking altogether absolutely nuts. At a conference in Canada, the former Prime Minister said his beloved party was banning cigars, saying, "What is the point? The party of Winston Churchill wants to ban." In Ukraine, 200,000 people have lost power because of a Russian attack on power facilities in 5 regions. A power plant in Kyiv has also been totally destroyed. And most people believe things were better in the past than they are now. According to a YouGov poll, a third of people think the 60s and 70s were better than today, especially those over 70 now. 56% think the year 2050 will be worse than now, but 18 to 29-year-olds were the most optimistic.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for a professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Stormy weather's delayed the start of the Masters, and is Leeds United's transfer spending spree coming back to bite them? Max has more at 11.
It's game on coming this summer. Hear unrivaled coverage of UEFA Euro 2024 live on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2.
Unbelievable.
The biggest football tournament in Europe, driven by the passion and prowess of the world's biggest sports radio station.
Oh, yes!
Broadcasting unmissable output, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week throughout the entire tournament.
What a magnificent finish!
UEFA Euro 2024 Germany, coming soon to Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. This is the beauty of what we do. Incidentally, in Canada's bulletin there, I heard us saying, Simon, 2050, what will we all be doing in 2050? And you looked at me, you said, we'll probably still be here. You know, who knows? Who knows? We've only done this a few years, but it could become the longest running radio show ever. 2050. Are you kidding me? When's that? 25,
26 years.
26 years from now. I don't really want to make this calculation, but yeah. Good morning. 92-year-old Jim White live. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, we'll see 2050 is a long time away. Football in League One could well be a thing of the moment for Birmingham City if they don't get their act together. Because right now, Birmingham City, whose owner Tom Wagner, has big plans for the football club. NFL matches, big concerts, etc., etc. How's about seeing the championship though, Tom? First, we heard from Tom Wagner earlier on, talking about all the plans that he's got for the football club.
But now a whole bunch of messages coming in following the home defeat last night. As far as Blues fans are concerned, stay in the championship. That is the priority. Good morning, Jim. I thought April Fool's Day was 10 days ago after hearing your man Wagner, says Ian, the Aston Villa fan. Villa fans out in force this morning, Simon, as you might imagine. Sid, the Villa fan. Yeah. Biggest concerts in the world? Wow. Have they not seen the Stones in Brazil? That was the biggest concert. Enjoy League One, ladies, says Sid, the Villa fan.
And as someone else points out, you have difficulty getting Tina Turner to do a concert these days.
Yes.
But I remember looking at Aston Villa's prospectus when they got relegated and what kind of state they were in. So laugh while you have a moment, Aston Villa fans. But about 4 or 5 years ago when you got relegated and I saw your business plan put together by Keith Winers that got him very upset with me because I was professionally running horse.
Yeah.
They were in a not in good nick, so you know everyone has their moment.
Yeah. Well, Birmingham fans seem to be split at the moment on what life would be like, what the actual moment of relegation from the Championship to League One would feel like. Many are saying, yeah, take it in the chin, get back up. It's a long-term project for Wagner and the rest of them. Many are saying, are you kidding? It would be unimaginable. Here's Sean, a Birmingham fan. Sean, good morning. What do you want to say, mate?
I'm not, to be honest, if we go 12 months ago, if we'd have gone down, I'd have been pure panic mode that the club wouldn't survive at all, and we'd be game over, much like Berry and places like that. Having spoken to Wagner and seen Wagner in action, a question was asked by one of our podcasts, what happens if worst case scenario happens? And he said, very confidently, with his chin and his chest out, saying, nothing changes, it just costs us a bit more money. And obviously, if we go down, then it's horrible. We don't want to be there, but I'm not as worried as I would have been 12 months ago. I think we'll get back there. And also, as we all know, it's 5 or 6 games, it's a whole season, and the teams simply haven't been good enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're looking at it from a totally pragmatic point. Sean, that's what you said, Simon, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't think there's any indications. Of course, the timing of what he's saying is ridiculable.
Yeah.
People are going to ridicule it. They're going to turn around and say, well, the football operation is a disaster. What are you doing talking about having your head in the clouds?
Yeah.
But they're all part of a business strategy, and as long as they're prepared to bridge the gap, which they will be, then it will be, as I say, it could be one step fixture. But I still think with Rower in situ, they've got just enough, because the other sides around them are not getting away. Huddersfield didn't get away. They got a 4-1 smashing from Preston midweek.
But they've got just enough to get out of the trouble. That's what you're about to say. They were 6 when they sacked Eustace.
Fine. Palace had just about enough to get out of trouble, and 2 years later we got promoted.
Right.
So you can turn these things, and you can learn the lessons of reverse, and they will have learned a lot from the decisions that they've made on the football operation.
Okay,
this year.
Dale, I'm coming to you in a second. There's a message, Simon, from Shane. It's another example of American ownership being too focused on superficial things like glitz and chitsy events rather than the substance of building a proper football club.
No, you've got to be able to do both. I mean, you've got to be able to make
the right world.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you've got to generate revenues. Football clubs have got to generate revenues, and that's what they're all trying to do. That's what Tottenham Hotspur have done at the very top of the pyramid, and it will be replicated down. And ultimately making sure that your sophisticated thinking for the business of sport is there. But of course, everybody knows you've got to make the right decisions on the field, because that's what people look at it as. Look at it and go, what a disaster, American idiots are looking at the bigger picture. Well, you have to do both.
You've got to do both, have you?
Of course
so
you
your
do.
time at Palace, did you lack vision by not talking about big concerts and NFL?
No, because that's precisely what I did do.
Right.
I talked about bringing digital. I was the first football club in the country to bring in digital season tickets that could track what people plan they come in the ground, so I could match their spend to the times that we would provide service, so we could get more revenue. I looked at every commercialisation of it. I built KPIs that were as good as anything in the industry to say what I'm getting from every fan, how many programs are being bought, what shirt size of merchandise they bought, what the stadium should be configured into. I spent £500,000 straight away on lounges to try and make sure that people spent more money. But you do have to be getting the fundamentals right, which is the football team. You buy a football club, you've got to have a football team that performs.
What was the biggest concert you ever staged?
Well, you didn't do any.
Oh, you didn't do any, okay. No. So that went into space. Dale's a big Birmingham fan. Dale, good morning. What do you want to say about the plight of your football club?
Morning, Jim. Morning, Simon. First time caller.
Morning, Dale. You're welcome.
Just want to say, I watched the open house live on Blues TV on Tuesday. When these guys come in, we didn't even have hot water in the stadium, let alone
let alone be now where we are now, where we are, other than the teams who have come down from Premier League, we are the biggest revenue stream from the teams without parachute payments. They also projected next season that we were going to be breaking teams with parachute payments. That's absolutely massive for any championship club to be breaking teams with parachute payments.
Sure.
So what they've done off the field is immaculate. On the field, it hasn't been great. We get it. Mistakes, obviously. What I will say about the John Eustace sacking, if we didn't win against Huddersfield and West Brom, I think it was, on that week, we were down 14th anyway. It took us to 6th, and results went our way we played on Friday.
Yeah.
Results went our way on
But Dale, Tom Wagner's talking about you in time eclipsing Villa. If you drop down to League One, Villa right now, as you and I talk, on live at Talk Sport, Villa are 5th in the Premier League. Eclipsing Villa.
Jim, I weren't even born the last time Villa really won a trophy. I was there at Wembley 2011 with Obafemi Martins. I've seen my team win a trophy. There's a generation of Villa that hasn't seen them win a trophy at Wembley.
Okay, Dale, listen, thanks for that. Thank you for that. Paul finishes off for me. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I've come in late on the conversation. Season ticket holder. I went last night. And yeah, I think there's a strong possibility we could go down this year. But like the other callers, I'm not as worried as I would have been because I think we've got the best owners we've had in my lifetime. They've got a vision for the club, and I think everybody's signed up to it. You can feel the vibe around the place. It's so much better and positive. And I think, we might have a blip in the road, but the only way is up. And to be honest, I don't really care about the dinner. I don't care what they think or what they say. We are Birmingham soon.
Excellent, Paul. Good call. Thank you for that. So Birmingham have got it all to do, but they know that, Simon. They know that. That's the task in hand. And it all starts again this weekend. Birmingham at home to Coventry. And the bookies make Coventry to win at St Andrews. They have it all to do, but with Gary Rowett, you've got a right chance. Coming up to quarter to 11.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
We always back an arse in the Grand National.
Just can't beat it. That's the one everyone wants to win.
I love the National, but absolutely zero strategy behind who I choose.
I mean, each way, man, I'll pick someone further downfield.
To be honest, my favourite, eh?
I always pick the favourite.
I back the outsider.
Whatever colour top they're wearing, that's me.
However you pick your Grand National horse, bet Fred. They're off. Love the National.
Bet Fred.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, Nathan, you're next. Happy birthday to you.
Mum, my birthday's not till next month. Like getting your money's worth? Grab a McDonald's Favour Meal Deal. That's a cheeseburger or mayo chicken, medium fries and drink for just $3.99. Also available via Just Eat until the 7th of May. Delivery price uplift and fees apply. Price may vary.
Play Set for Life, and you could. £10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for Life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
At Morrison's, get any four for £5 from over 30 frozen products. From Bird's Eye Garden peas, potato waffles, Goodfellas pizzas, plus many more. That's more easy peasy teas sorted.
Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores are online, subject to availability. Selected lines ends 14th of April.
Who are you going for at Entry? The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite without a doubt.
This Entry Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and guides for all the fans and players. And a free £2 in-shop bet with Coral for the Grand National. Get your free favourite pull-out in the sun every day of Entry. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org.
The manager is subbing on the big man. And another change now. Rodgers comes on, the veteran right back. And now the third choice goalie enters the field. They can barely contain themselves here. The new Super Sub from Paddy Power. All subs are now Super.
Because if a player in your bet is subbed off, it carries over to the new player coming on. Credit power. Football, you gotta love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualified player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus BGovAware.org.
Talksport Traffic and Travel with My Dear Clean Heating. Find an easier route to win heat pump chiller projects. With My Dear, win more, earn faster. That's My Dear.
Chris and Galloway, since early on this morning, you haven't been able to access part of the A74M from Thornhill 14 to 15 at Beatwick following an accident. In the West Midlands, it's busier around Walsall because part of Blue Lane West is closed. That's the A4148 at the A34 Green Lane. Somerset, there's a tyre change going north on the M5 after Burnham-on-Sea, 22 to 21 Weston-super-Mare. A queue out of London through Rainham on the A13, where there's one lane down before Wellington. I'm Sarah Elliott.
Have you ever heard a kettle snore? Or a hairdryer in a deep slumber? This is the sound of saving money. Because giving your appliances a power nap during peak hours isn't just better for the planet. With OVO, you'll be earning money off future bills too. See what you can save. Search OVO Power Move. Terms and eligibility criteria apply. Smart meter customers only.
Welcome to the Coliseum of Confrontation. Jim White and Simon Jordan. Mid-mornings on Talksport, the nation's primary destination for essential breaking sports news, triple distilled opinion and blistering debate. Take it to the limit with White and Jordan. Mid-mornings on Talksport.
For most of the time, Simon, we talk about games that are played and the implication of the result that arises out of that game. For example, tonight, Liverpool up against Atalanta in the Europa League. West Ham, can they end Bayer Leverkusen's undefeated record in all competition this season? So obviously, there will be much to ponder tomorrow. The championship from last night. Well, ironically, it's a game that can't get played that we dwell upon at this moment, because Rangers missed a chance to leapfrog Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership after the game away to Dundee, Dens Park, Dundee, was called off for a second time yesterday due to rain. Rangers didn't hang about. They called out Dundee as negligent and unprofessional, and they went to the lengths of a fairly lengthy statement yesterday, saying Dundee are this, that and the next, and the matter, quite simply, is not good enough. But then it's come to light that Rangers could have gone ahead and played the rearranged game last midweek, the first available date. But of course, with the game against Celtic on the horizon, a request was made to the SPFL board to push the game back by a week. Dundee agreed, and the league was attention. So we're still in a situation whereby, because of heavy rain in that part of Scotland, and it's a lovely part of Scotland, but not at the moment, it's chucking it down, the game can't get played. Yesterday, the club secretary at Dundee, Eric Drysdale, after the match had been called off, he spoke to Sky.
I can understand that people are annoyed and are looking at this as being Dundee's fault. What I would say is that from the research that we've done in the last few days, we know that this year's rainfall is 35% higher than the last 10 years average. That shows the effects of climate change is having on it, and it appears that we need to do urgently more work on the Dens Park pitch, and they're absolutely up for doing that in the summer.
So a bit of problem here due to climate change. It's chucking it down a lot more than it ever did. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Dundee have got a bit of form because of the bad weather, as well as this fixture with Rangers being postponed twice. Dundee have also had home games against Aberdeen, Ross County, St Johnstone called off this season. Yeah. It's a problem, Simon. The Rangers need to be as heavy in the statement as they have been. Rangers has written to the SPFL, I'm quoting their statement, outlining its position. The negligence and unprofessionalism demonstrated by Dundee Football Club, where they have repeatedly breached SPFL rules, continues to have a damaging effect on the top professional league in the country.
I mean, there's a sense of irony about this, because this is a club that can't get its act together with its biggest rivals to allow fans in to watch the game between the two football clubs. And I should mention they are probably breaching SPFL rules by not doing that and not allowing an away side to have an allocation, specifically their biggest rivals. So I think there's an irony behind that. I'm not entirely sure why Rangers feel the need to have gone so robust. They may well be irritated, they may well be disappointed, and they may well be playing to the gallery of the fans that they say are disappointed, the 4,000 fans that they would have bought to the Dundee game. But I think it's a bit ridiculous. I mean, I think it's a bit hypocritical. And if we are steeped in substance that they had the opportunity to play in the previous league and didn't want to, then I really don't know where they're coming from with this. I don't know why they're being holier than thou. Maybe it's a legacy of what they think was the past being done to them by the SPFL, which, by the way, I agree with. I know they had to be consequenced, but I think the Scottish Football committed an act of great self-harm by jettisoning Rangers out, down, and flinging them to the very pits of Hades for their breaches of financial governance.
You see, Rangers are saying off the back of the Celtic game, in a week where record TV viewing figures were recorded for a match in the same competition, and this evening's game due to be televised again by Sky Sports, this episode is deeply embarrassing and has been eminently avoidable.
It's a bit pompous, isn't it?
How's that avoidable? They get 35% more rain in that part of Scotland than normally would get.
I suppose calling the game off, what they're basically saying is the facilities of this football club are not befitting of a Scottish Premier League football club because they haven't got the ability to cope with inclement weather. They haven't got the ability to be able to prepare pitches and to maintain these pitches.
Well, maybe they're right about that.
Or maybe they are right, and maybe the revenue inside the Scottish Premier League is what it is. Right? We all know that they get the equivalent of a Crystal
turn it up, please.
Probably really need, and you've got Rangers that have the luxury of a 60,000 stadium and European football. So I really don't think it's, to me, looking from the outside, it sounds remarkably pompous, it sounds condescending, and they don't have their own house in order. So when you're going to stand on a pulpit and start preaching to people about what you think they should do and how they think they should, even if you've got validity in what you're saying, when you're pointing at other people, four fingers point back at you, because ultimately Rangers, I don't think, cover themselves in glory, as we've just discussed. They could have played this game last week, it didn't suit them, because they were playing, but this is me, who wants Rangers to win the league. I would like to see Rangers win the league. I like Philippe Clement. I like to see Rangers continue to progress and Celtic not to dominate the SPFL and to have it opened up wider and the two old firms becoming really meaningful clubs together.
If you were at Rangers, you wouldn't have put out a statement like this yesterday.
Well, I don't quite understand why it has to be so vitriolic.
I don't respectful by Dundee.
Obviously you hold yourself, it's right to hold yourself in the highest esteem, but standing on top of Mount Sinai looking down at everybody else as if you're something really meaningful, and I understand that Rangers are a significant football club, but there are ways, this is very high-handed, isn't it, and very heavy-handed and slightly unnecessary, and you read it and you think to yourself, there's probably a reason why a lot of the other football clubs in the SPFL don't like the old firm, and this probably...
Well, there's you in a big iteration
of it.
Rangers love a statement, don't they? There has been a suggestion in some quarters of forfeiture that the point should be awarded to Rangers. I mean, you've got to think. We're not even mid-April yet. Surely they'll get the game played in the next few days. Will they not?
We're reading, to texts coming in talking about that the ground was available to be played, or they could have played it across
the street. Well, for those who don't know, Simon, it's a good point you make. Dundee and Dundee United, they've got two stadiums in the same street. Now, Darren obviously is a Dundee United fan, and he's saying, what does climate change have to do with this? Never had so much toss. Dundee United's pitch is perfect and is playable.
So what's the conspiracy theory then? So
would Dundee want a home league tie played at Dundee United? Probably not. Could they play it? They could move it there, probably.
So whilst we're having this moment to share with the unbiased audience that are piling in suggesting there's some sort of conspiracy theory, what is the conspiracy theory? What is it behind this? Why would Dundee not have wanted this game? Is there something that we're missing in this conversation?
No.
That they would be better prepared for a different day, or there was something more meaningful, they could have got a better gateway seat on it? What is the conspiracy theory that Rangers fans or supporters or people that are piling in suggesting that this is some form of collusion or unprofessional? What is it that they think Dundee have done to avoid playing this game? Are they not going to play Rangers now? Is that what's going to happen? Of course they're going to play them.
Of course they will.
So I don't understand what people's point is. If the pitch is bloody waterlogged, then you could make the argument that perhaps the club should be in a position where they can maintain their pitch better. Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But suggesting that perhaps maybe they don't have the money or the means maybe a question for Scottish football per se.
There's people in Scotland tell me it's at the moment it's being penciled in for next Wednesday.
So what's the problem here then?
So it doesn't seem to exactly. One wonders why Rangers have gone to the lengths they've gone to with a statement like the club considers that this matter has been handled incorrectly throughout by both Dundee and the SPFL. But the pitch is either playable or it's not
If I
playable.
was Dundee, I'd say, and that's wonderful, but I couldn't give a monkey's what you think. I'll be judged by the SPFL, not by you. Who are you?
Yeah.
You can't even control your own fans. You can't even have supporters coming from another football club because you can't behave yourselves. So let's get you into line. You're a football club that had to be sanctioned, and I know I've just spoken about that, but whilst you're sitting there lecturing people about what you think you should do and what you think you shouldn't do, it wasn't so long ago that we were watching these football clubs argue about the main sponsor of the league because it compromised the ownership model of the football club that had car garages.
Yeah.
I mean, let's have it right.
Yeah.
If you're going to get up on your high horse and really go all guns blazing at another football club, I really do think that you need to be perfect. And whilst I admire Rangers and I have affection for them and I want them to win the league, just a moment.
Well, we've been on to both Rangers and Celtic, some people we know at both clubs, and at the moment nothing back from either. There is Nicky, who's a Rangers fan. Morning, guys. To talk about this weather being the issue here at Dundee is a farce. There's a park 100 yards down the road that's playable. Amateur games were played in Dundee last night. When the first game was called off, it was the only one in Britain to be called off. Dundee have more money on their squad and neglected drainage this season, which has led to 5 postponements. So Dundee coming in for a bit this morning in terms of why their pitch is unplayable.
Here's someone suggesting that conspiracy is a split on Sunday. Dundee will know what result they need to get top 6. Rangers could be 5 points behind.
Yeah. I don't get it. Rangers are saying it's negligent and it's unprofessional.
They know about that, wouldn't they?
Dundee, you heard from their man, the club secretary Eric Drysdale tells Sky, is because there's 35% more rainfall at this particular time than we predicted, and that's why Den Park is unplayable. And now we're hearing it's rescheduled for next week. We'll check the weather for Dundee next Wednesday night with some trepidation. You can give us a call if you want. Many of you are doing that without even being invited to, which we like, incidentally. 03717 223344 81089. It is 11 o'clock.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
With EDF, you could charge up your EV for under £10 overnight, saving you cash and carbon while you sleep. Find out more about our zero carbon generation at edfenergy.com/helpingbritain. Based on using a 7 kilowatt home charger and EDF's Go Electric overnight tariff at 9p per kilowatt hour off peak.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Get stacks of stock and hundreds of big name trade brands at selcobw.com. We've got it.
The manager is subbing on the big man. And another change now. Rodgers comes on, the veteran right back. And now the third choice goalie enters the field. They can barely contain themselves here. With new super sub from Paddy Power, all subs are now super. Because if a player in your bet is subbed off, it carries over to the new player coming on. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualified player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. T plus become on work and talk.
Spring into savings with mymotorworld.com. Give your car a spring service with our service parts and fluids. A spring repair with a huge range of parts and accessories. And a spring clean with top brand products like Cargold, Teacup, Brembo, Castrol and Quinton Hazel. For discounts on thousands of your motor essentials and free delivery when you spend over 25 quid. Order now at mymotorworld.com. mymotorworld.com.
Sometimes running a trade or construction business can feel like working out in a sauna filled with wasps. But Xero accounting software can help. You can quote an invoice on the go to get paid faster. Soon it'll feel less like working out and more like chilling out. To whale song. Sung live. Construction business, oh no. Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
Who are you going for at Aintree?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt.
This Aintree Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £2 in-shop bet with Coral for the Grand National. Get your free favourite pull-out in the sun every day of Aintree. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org.
In the Toolstation Club, our loyalty is built to last. We give you 5% of everything, every day. It's less searching for sales, more setting standards. It's money off what you need, when you need it. It's putting the power in your hands. And with more savings when you spend, you can keep on raising your level. Sign up online or on the app and join the club today for free. Toolstation, for a job done right. Subject to £75 a month minimum spend, terms and conditions apply.
Let's get the business.
There will be 14 minutes of extra time.
With Betfair's 90-minute payout, you don't have to wait for the final whistle to celebrate. Because your winning bet will be paid out in full at 90 minutes. Betfair. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with a 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Online, on your smart speaker, on DAB, on the app, and on the money.
Over 50 games of live football across April.
This is Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
With Lookers. With over 140 dealerships nationwide, it's the place to find new and used cars and vans. Visit lookers.co.uk.
Good morning, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. Trouble could be brewing at Leeds United. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire told TalkSport they owe a staggering amount because of the money they spent under Jesse Marsh.
Leeds now owe other clubs £190 million in unpaid transfer fees. And how are they going to do that in the Championship?
That piles even more pressure on their promotion push this season. In the last hour, poor weather's delayed the start of the Masters by an hour. Storms have disrupted play and organisers say they'll continue to monitor the situation. Meanwhile, three-time major winner Padraig Harrington's told TalkSport Rory McIlroy's preparation is the key to winning that elusive green jacket.
He still hasn't settled on what makes him play well in a given week. I know it took me 2 weeks to get ready for a major tournament. Rory is still trying to find that answer for him.
He's set to play alongside favourite Scotty Scheffler at a revised time of 3:42 p.m. UK time. We'll be bringing you updates on all the action when play gets underway. Liverpool's row with fans over their ticket price rise has put Jurgen Klopp in a difficult situation.
It's a tricky one from my point of view. Obviously, to say I didn't even know about it, that it happened, but the opinion is clear. We want to have the people in the stadium, we want to make it available for everybody and stuff like this.
He says he understands why fans are protesting the 2% rise at the Europa League quarter-final clash against Atalanta, which you can listen to live on TalkSport tonight. And does Erik ten Hag know the writing's on the wall for him? According to The Sun, United players have noticed a change in his demeanour and say he expects to be replaced this summer.
Talk Sport News.
The average ambulance will get to you in 8 minutes 20 seconds in the most serious emergencies, and the man charged with the murder of a 27-year-old woman pushing a pram has been remanded in custody.
Talk Sport weather with Quick Fit. We're focused on the road ahead with over 300 EV train centres. Find your local EV train centre at quickfit.com so you can drive away happy every time.
Patchy rain across the south coast and Wales, mostly dry elsewhere with some sunny spells expected.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport. Legendary sports radio, engineered for confrontation. The nation's primary destination for essential breaking sports news, triple distilled opinion and blistering debate. Jim White and Simon Jordan, mid-mornings on Talk Sport.
Good morning, everybody. 5 minutes past 11 o'clock. This is Thursday, April the 11th. It's Jim White and it's Simon Jordan. We're live on Talk Sport. You're also watching us on YouTube and Facebook as well. And we're delighted that you are because so many people, and I constantly say this, but I mean it, so many people come up to me and say, enjoy watching the show in the mornings, which seems strange as we're live on Talk Sport, but that's brilliant. We absolutely love that. And we encourage you to do that. We're going to talk Everton in a bit. With each passing week, is it becoming clearer? The 777 and partners do not have the funds to buy Everton. We never hear really from Farhad Bashiri these days. That's not for the want of trying. I heard very briefly the other day from Josh Wonder of 777, but it seems they're no closer to getting their hands on the football club, and Everton need that finance. At the moment, we're dwelling on the fixture that cannot seemingly get played. Dundee against Rangers in the Scottish Premier League. Rangers missed a chance to leapfrog Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership after the game at Dens Park Dundee last night was called off for a second time due to rain. Rangers called out Dundee as negligent and unprofessional. But have they any right to do that? Because it's now transpired that Rangers could have gone ahead and played the rearranged game last midweek, the first available date, but with the game against Celtic on the horizon, i.e. on Sunday there, a request was made to the SPFL board to push the game back by a week. They did, but they couldn't play it last night. Now it's going to be played, hopefully, next week on a dry day, but we'll see. Dundee agreed and the league had no objection, but it's Rangers who are kicking up a stink about it. Many calls on this. David's a big Rangers fan. David, good morning. Were you due to head to Dens Park yourself?
No, Jim, I'm a big fan, but I live down in Kent, mate. Yeah, no, what it is, I'm an Arsenal fan, basically. My father's from Dublin, so I go up quite regular.
All right.
I wanted to make the point, Jim, that this thing about Rangers with Celtic, the 5% allocation now has been agreed for next season for
yeah, that's right.
Allocation.
Yeah.
So saying that we're not doing anything to actually resolve that is not correct. You know.
It took 4 years to do it. It took 4 years to do it.
Yeah, it's taken a long time, David.
Yeah, it might have done, but the fact is, the Rangers Supporters Association were never looking to give the hold of the Bruins fan back to Celtic supporters, and that's not going to happen. Vince Groves has basically said that. So, you know, it's took some time to negotiate, but there we are.
Yeah, but that's another issue, David, and as you rightly say, to a degree it's been resolved, and some Rangers fans will get to Celtic Park, and some Celtic fans will get to Ibrox. That's been taken care of. But on the subject of this Dundee Rangers game, was there any need for Rangers to be quite so heavy-handed in terms of the wording of their statement yesterday? Rangers expects the SPFL to take proportionate and decisive action in accordance with its rules.
Yeah, I think the thing is, if the game, it's okay to say push the game back to next week, casually, but if the pitch is still walking along next week, you've got to remember the split this weekend is the finish of the game. So if the split occurs...
Why didn't you play it last week then? It didn't suit Rangers to play it last week.
Well, that's the case with any team before a big game, isn't it? But
right,
the fact is, United...
Then you take the slings and arrows about Rangers' fortune, don't you? I mean, for Rangers to be up on their high horse and to be writing this email or this letter or this statement seems to be a little bit rich. And I know you make the point, and you're right to make the point, because we already knew that there was a resolution, a minimum resolution of 5%. But for the last 4 years, both Rangers and Celtic have acted in a way which is not becoming of two leading lights in world football. And I also watched the ownership model of Rangers, you know, having problems with even the league's sponsorship because it didn't suit the ownership, because the guy that owned Rangers, Douglas Park, had a car dealership. So let's have it right. You're either a big football club or you're not.
That's in the wrong. That's in the wrong about conflict of interest. The SPFL, they'll Doncaster do that have a conflict of interest, basically. And in the end, if they agreed not to put us on any of the Cinch logos, or you know, because
it's small-minded thinking. It's small-minded thinking. You're taking the commercial interests of an owner over the well-being of a football club and the league.
It was a rubbish deal as well. It was a rubbish deal.
Oh, well.
It was a poor deal.
Okay, well that's an opinion. But what you're doing is you're just basically saying everybody else is crap and Rangers are great.
David, listen, thanks for the call. Here's John, a Dundee fan. John, what do you think of all this? I mean, it now appears the game could well get played next week, although that's not definite either. What's your take on it, John?
Jim, thanks very much for answering the call. I've got a lot of time for you and Simon, watch your show a lot. I feel like Rangers have got a lot to say about this and depth at the moment. Rangers fans, as you're going aware, and Celtic fans, and you've always got a say that. I think they act like they own the league and own the SFA. They've always got an opinion on everybody else's club when they kind of need to focus on themselves really. And what I would say on regards to that is we need to more focus on our pitch more than the new stadium. Everything just gets talked about the new stadium at the moment. I don't know if you've heard about that, but that's what we seem to talk about. Our stadium's neglected from start to finish in the stands, so there's a lot of needs to go in that. But I feel like if because we're playing Rangers, it's been announced more in the press. If it was we were playing Motherwell and Mirren, it wouldn't be getting that much coverage. But because it's Rangers, that's the reason why it's now everyone's looking at it for a bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for Dundee, John, to a degree, because they couldn't have played the game. If the pitch was unplayable last night, it was unplayable, John, and they couldn't play the match. Simple as. Yeah, I mean, the club, from my understanding, have had a lot of work done to it and tried their best to get it on. Regards to all these all these people that have got all these ideas in their heads, just like the old COVID days. It's quite funny, to be honest, to see it.
But John, does your club have to answer some questions though about the number of games that have been cancelled because of the inability for the pitch to be in a condition to play on? Is that a fair observation?
Oh, 100%. I'm not saying anything about like the club's not at fault. The club's at fault, 100%. This isn't taken away from that. 5 games this season is a shambles. You know, going back to the new stadium. The new stadium seems to be the main priority at the moment. There's something from our hierarchy that needs to get looked at. So that's up to them to do. But with regards to the public demeanour of the situation, it's more focused on now that our club is in the light just because the situation. If it happened to as I said, any other club that we're playing against, it wouldn't be the same scenario. We wouldn't be getting looked at. But Rangers, obviously, and Celtic have always said that they act like they own Scottish football. You know, if they weren't here, Scottish football would be nothing and all this. I would send them down to England to play in England. I know you were speaking about that yesterday. I would happily see them go down there. You know, they cause more bother than what it's worth. Okay, John, listen, thanks for the call. Mark's a Celtic fan, wants to say. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good, thank you, mate. What's your take on this? The game that seemingly can get played, Mark?
Well, let's pick up something Simon said. Simon said who the Rangers think they are. Well, I'll tell you who they think they are. They are the establishment club of Scotland. Their sense of entitlement knows no bounds. And just to correct something else he said as well, you know, he felt they were harshly dealt with when they went bust and put down the league. Scottish football actually rewrote the whole constitution in order to protect Rangers. They cut with a 5-way agreement which didn't exist. Under the old rules, Rangers would have ceased to exist. They would have started as a brand new club with all their history extinct. But they rewrote the whole pyramid of Scottish football to ensure that didn't happen, such as their entitlement and establishment leanings.
All right, well, here's a pertinent question for you, Mark. What's the weather going to be like in Dundee next Wednesday?
Well, it's sunny in Glasgow today, which is a one-off, I can assure you. There's been absolutely belting it down for about 3 months.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's going to be any better. Why they don't just play to Canada is beyond me, quite frankly.
I agree with you, mate. I agree. It does seem that at some stage, Mark, the game will get played. It's as simple as. But if they couldn't play it last night, they couldn't play it last night. I mean, that's...
Well, the fact that Rangers could have played it last week and chose not to, and are now writing these, another one of their famous statements, I mean, the Tory statements like confetti. Just one more final point as well, just something else Simon picked up on there. Obviously, the Cinch car deal upset Rangers, and they refused to have Cinch all over their stadium, etc. But they were quite happy when Ladbrokes was sponsoring the league, and they bet 32, I believe it was, on their shirt. The difference being here that Douglas Park has nothing to do with bet 32. It's self-interest. This is what this club is all about.
Okay, Mark.
Self-interest and protecting themselves.
Listen, thanks for your call. We're getting away a bit from the weather right now in Tayside. Shauna, finish this for me. Shauna's a Rangers fan. Good morning.
Hi there, Jim. Hi there, Simon. Thanks for taking my call this morning. So now, basically, I've had to travel twice now up to Dundee, and obviously back again. Obviously, yesterday I was able to turn the car back around, but it's obviously to do with the fans as well. The fans are obviously travelling, and they're not obviously being taken care of. Now, this is twice now that Dundee have called off their game. This has happened several times throughout the season. It's got nothing to do with the weather, it's to do with the drainage system on the pitch. the fact they can't get their house in order. So basically, the way I look at it is it's gross negligence from Dundee. This is now twice it's happened, and yeah, I would like to obviously put the point across that it's not a case of just about the fixture list, but there's other clubs coming out and complaining about this as well.
Yeah. Where were you travelling from, Shauna?
I'm travelling from Glasgow all the way up to Dundee to do some media work, and yeah, that's now had to travel all the way up to Dundee. When we got up to Dundee, the game was called off. I think there's fans that have travelled all over, and basically Dundee have come out and blamed climate change when you've got the pitch 250 yards across the road that's playable. Amateur football has been played as well, so I think Rangers have right to bring out their statement. This is a pivotal time of the year where all these games are getting played. Obviously, we're now going into the split, as you know.
Well, we talk about 3 different levels.
We're going into the split this weekend, so there's other
Shauna, they could have played it last week.
They couldn't have because Sky intervened. Sky intervened because it was live on TV. Basically, Dundee wanted the game to be played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but this was actually suggested by Sky.
The plot thinking, Shauna. The plot thinking. Shauna, if it is next Wednesday and it's dry, God willing, will you go?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely will be there. I just think this is now taking a step too far. The amount of times that Dundee have had their games called off this season, it's a case of the pitch is just not fit for purpose, and neither is the club, because it's nothing to do with the weather, it's to do with their drainage system.
Okay. Shauna, listen, thanks for your call, thanks for your time.
She's probably right.
Yeah.
But I just think the nature of the way that Rangers have attacked the subject is the question that we're debating here. I don't think there's any debate that having 5 games cancelled is, in some part, illustrating that you're not fit for purpose.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure that Sky intervened, but we'll take Shauna at face value. But the point is that Rangers' statement, Rangers' attitude, Rangers' outlook is not ideal.
This morning,
but we're not there seeing the frustration that they have about a game they wanted to have played.
Okay. Dundee, the city of journalism and poor drainage.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco. Register for your trade card online at selcobw.com or in one of our branches.
If I wasn't a fan, I wouldn't know what Crucial Ligament was. If I wasn't a fan, my geography knowledge wouldn't be based on football teams.
If I wasn't a fan, I wouldn't have named me dog after my team striker.
If I wasn't a fan, I'd travel to more exotic places. For fans, it's more than a game, so we're doing more for fans. Skybet for the fans. 18 plus begamblerware.org.
Getting your business off the starting blocks and taking it to the next level is exciting, and NatWest's dedicated team can support you all the way. Get 3 years free banking on everyday transactions when you open a startup account or switch to NatWest Business Banking, backed by the current account switch guarantee. So join the hundreds of thousands of businesses across the UK who are already taking the next step. Tomorrow begins today with NatWest, proud partner of Team GB. Search NatWest Business. Turnover under 1 million for startup, under 2 million for switch. Standard tariff thereafter. Switchers must use the current account switch service. Can't transfer another NatWest Group business account. Other fees and criteria may apply.
At Morrison's, get half-price toys on brands like Hot Wheels and Barbie, plus many more in store. That's more play for them and peace for you.
Morrison's to shop like Morrison's.
Majority in store, subject to availability, excludes online. Selected toys, Hot Wheels 10-pack was £23, now £11.50. Barbie Beach Doll was £19, now £11.50. Offer ends 14th of April.
Get 3 pieces of original recipe chicken, fries, and your choice of side for just $4.49 at KFC. That's a serious size meal for a seriously small price. The original recipe deal for just $4.49. Do the deal until the 28th of April, only at KFC. Participating restaurants only. T's and apply.
On average, Rift get their customers 3 grand back.
Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Rewards Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the race course shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on the day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free rewards shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
in Ivy League's Max Strength Gel.
Is anyone doing that, Jen? Are you going to show me the gel?
I'm going to say you're going to take it.
Can I drive?
This is my farm where we came to like in the Highlands. The A9 traffic bridge has been closed to high-sided vehicles, as has the A92 Taylor Bridge in Dundee. Timing, we had a problem on the A1 Western bypass going north of the Angel after junction 62 to break down.
You're supporting the move to regenerative
No
farming.
access through Liverpool on the 8567 Stanley Road, where
Mickey,
it's opened
let's
off
all
Marsh
chip
Lane.
in.
2 lanes down in Berkshire on the M4, west of Maidenhead, into junction 10, recovering a broken down vehicle.
I love a bit of sun.
Elliot,
Stay nice.
And Europa League
On
Top Sport versus Atalanta.
Thursday night, continental night kicks on Top Sport.
Join Jordan's football business roundup on Talk Sport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile, everything helps. For opening up terms of verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
Let's do that. Let's round up one of the big business stories with Tesco Mobile for Business. Simon alongside me. Nobody better to look at this. Simon, Sky News in the person of Mark Lyman, who's an extremely experienced journalist, reports that 777 Partners has told stakeholders, including the Premier League and prospective lenders, that it now expects its takeover of Everton to be finalised after the season is over. City sources said Wednesday that 777 have also requested in recent days an extension to a repayment deadline for a loan of nearly 160 million quid. The money is owed to MSP Capital, Merseyside businessmen Andy Bell and George Downey. The money was due to be repaid by next Monday. I mean, with each passing week, I think the question now is it becoming clear that 777 Partners don't have the funds to buy Everton? Simply just, what was it, about 4 weeks ago in central London, I managed to get in front of this man, Josh Wonder of 777 Partners, and he said, yeah, I'll give you a brief message to Everton fans.
Can't tell them anything yet because the Premier League has suggested that we don't communicate this to the public. It's crucial for us to speak, but once the deal is approved, I'm happy to speak to you.
And are you confident it will be approved?
I am.
So he's confident then, he probably still is now.
She was one of these
At what point, Simon, did the Premier League say no?
Alexa, stop please.
Now the story of Amy Winehouse.
Volume 11. Volume 15.
We are joined by actress Marissa Bella, taking on the daunting task of playing Amy in the film. Let's take a look.
I want people to hear my voice. And just forget their troubles. You gotta remember, I ain't no Spice Girl.
Amy Winehouse!
Remembered for just being me.
So Back to Black is out in UK cinemas this Friday, and Marissa Bella, who plays Amy, joins us now. Hey!
Oh, so good to see you.
Firstly, congratulations. We've both seen it and we both love it.
We loved it.
I
want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. It was that good.
Thank you.
And you were so good. But, I mean, what was it like auditioning for the role? Did you really want it? And when you got it, how did that feel?
It was weird, actually. I mean, it wasn't one of those jobs where I was like, I have to get this, even though it was sort of objectively probably the biggest thing I'd ever auditioned for, because it's not the kind of part that you want if you're not going to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to really make sure that I was the best person for them to play this part if I was going to get it, because you just don't want to be that exposed if it's not right, you know?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research even before auditioning, just into you know, I felt I wanted to find Amy, the girl, the person, because you can't really play an icon.
Yeah.
You know? You have to play a human being.
Who is she?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
About?
Yeah.
That's what I love about the film. It's about her addiction to love as much as anything else.
Yeah,
and just how she goes through those stages of her life.
Yeah.
But the love, and specifically the love for Blake and the love for music, are the two great sort of love affairs.
Totally.
And I suppose the two great feeling.
Yeah, I think that what I found in you know, in a lot of the research that I was doing was that she had this sort of insatiable appetite for a lot of things in life, whether it was like music and those references, or love, or a dependency on whether it's relationships or other things. Like, but there was this appetite that was just completely like a well that she could just constantly feed. But the incredible thing about Amy is that her capacity to turn those experiences and her relationship to, you know, other people or her music into this art that we now all get to enjoy is, I mean, it's so singular.
Yeah.
To have a talent like that, with a voice like that, but also, you know, she's a poet, a songwriter. All of those songs are her own. And I think it's one of the amazing things about our film is you watch her, you know, write these songs and the experiences that formed the album, especially Back to Black.
I heard that you actually moved to Camden at the time. How did you find that?
It was great. I mean, you know, to be honest, I had flatmates when I booked the job.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were irritating each other. I was like learning to play guitar and they were watching their whatever, and so I knew I had to have my own space. So then when I knew I had to move, Camden seemed like the obvious place to be. And also it was great, you know, it meant I could go to the Good Mixer at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon and watch people play pool and see what that felt like and really get a sense of a place that's not, you know, you go to Camden and you go to Camden Market or whatever, and it's very different to living there and really getting a sense of the community and the people that choose to spend all of their time in Camden.
She really embodied that.
Yeah.
I was there for 12 years and she really embodied Camden, and you see, I mean, literally I was there last night and she, you know, there's a big mural of her just under the bridge, and you know, she was everything. That was sort of kind of her life around there, wasn't it? It was important for you as well to play her and not mimic her, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew that it had to be recognizable as Amy and distinguishable as the person that we all know. She has such an iconic look and an iconic sound, but in a way, the most overwhelming thing to me as an actor was her magic, you know, her soul. And it was that thing that I really wanted. I want people to go to the cinema and feel her.
Yeah.
And I was trying to sort of find what it was in myself, I guess, that I could connect to about her that made that sort of soulfulness come alive.
It's unbelievable what you managed to achieve, to be fair. You met her family as well, didn't you? How did that go, and what did they ask you to do?
I mean, I think, you know, it's important to me to be respectful of all parts of Amy's life, and, you know, tragically, what I found when I, you know, met Amy's family were just people that were grieving, you know, and I wanted to be just sensitive and also show them that, like, my only intention in this job was to, you know, was to bring her legacy back to her music and to make people remember how talented an artist she was, and just enjoy being in her orbit again for 2 hours. And I think that they were really excited by that. But yeah, like I said, it's sensitive for them, and it just required sort of being gentle and respectful.
Did they visit set at all?
They did, yeah. They came, there was one day that they came, and yeah, I remember Janice said to me, you know, I can't believe all these people are here for my naughty Amy.
Oh.
And it, you know, that's what it is, and I think that's what our film really represents, is that girl. You know, part of the reason that everyone fell in love with her in the first place was because, like, where did she come from? This girl from North London who had that voice and all those things to say, and yeah, I think that you could really feel that.
But I think what most people loved about her was she wasn't perfect, and so she was a mirror up to all of us in many ways. But she had this incredible, because you know, you can fall in love with music, but to fall in love with the artist, you have to fall in love with the person. And she had this incredible empathy about her. That also reminds me of Shay McGowan as well, because she just always had time for everyone, you know. And she, you know, in her rise. I remember when Frank came out the first album, and everyone was like, "She's really good," and then suddenly Back to Black. And we, you know, we were lucky enough to give her one of her first sessions at Radio 2. And it was, I can count, it was her and Adele, the only two artists, but the whole building stood still.
Really?
People were up, literally, I looked up from the microphone, you can just see the whole place is crammed full of people, and normally be an engineer and a producer, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost more than the music, I think, isn't it? And I think you captured that empathetic side to her so well.
Thank you. Well, I think that's, for me, I mean, people often talk about the tragedy within her story, and of course, with hindsight, we know that there's lots of tragedy there, but for me, one of the more heartbreaking things is that part of the thing that made her who she was this strong sense of normality. She craved normality in her life and relationships that felt authentic and real, and you can really hear that in the music. And because people responded to that authenticity so well, and that recognizability so well, she became sort of overwhelmingly famous, and her ability to maintain authentic connections to Camden, to her family, to her friends, it becomes harder and harder the more exposed.
It was never about money, was it, for her?
No, I mean, I think for her it was always about the art of the music, was about the art of the thing. And you know, she said, and I think there's nothing wrong with ambition. I think, you know, she said she wanted people to remember her as one of the great jazz singers of all time, and I think that, you know, they will, but I think, like, famous in terms of being hounded was not what she was interested in.
No. You absolutely embodied her fully, like the look, the voice. How did you research into her? Did you just watch loads of videos? What did you do?
I think I watched everything that there is to see about her, and I listened to also lots of radio interviews. That was really helpful for the voice. But also, you know, I worked with a singing teacher and a movement teacher, and I booked the job about 4 months before we started filming, and it was really, you can kind of split it into two camps, I think. There's the physical training and the technical stuff to make it distinguishable as a real person, but then there's the work that you'd always do as an actor, which is like, what does Amy want from her life?
Yeah.
How does she connect? How does she love Blake? How does she love her family? How does she express herself? And it's kind of the duality of those two things that makes someone make sense, I think.
Your voice is incredible, by the way, because it is your voice on the film as well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Back to Black in cinemas tomorrow, Marissa. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
so much.
All right, coming up next, if you're concerned about smartphones and the amount of screen time your children are exposed to, child counsellor Kate Silverton is here to share her advice in our phone.
And which one of these apprentice candidates will become Lord Sugar's new business partner? We're going to be talking to each and every one of them.
TalkSport for News Broadcasting. The Director of the Post Office has confirmed at the Horizon inquiry that he welcomed the news of a prosecution of a pregnant sub-postmistress as brilliant news at the time. It turned out to be wrong. David Smith was also asked about the Post Office's ability to launch prosecutions about people.
I'm sad to say at the time I didn't really reflect on it in the way that perhaps I should have done.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Leeds United owe a lot of money in unpaid transfer fees, and it looks like weather's going to play a huge part at the Masters and the Grand National. Max will have more at midday.
Turbocharge your Saturday with Game Day. It's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience.
Exclusive rights to 2 massive Saturday games.
Newcastle versus Spurs.
Kick-off 12:30
on TalkSport.
All too easy.
105. Nottingham Forest versus Wolves.
Kick-off 3 p.m.
on TalkSport 2.
The delightful finish. Supersize your Saturday.
Game day this Saturday.
On TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's showtime on TalkSport with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Yeah, we're joined by by Dan Towers from BetMGM. We're going to look at some of the sporting events in and around the place tonight. And Dan, of course, apart from the football, we'll get to that night 11 of the BetMGM Premier League darts tonight in Birmingham. What have you got?
It is. Morning, gents. Yeah,
morning.
Birmingham tonight. Luke Littler is going for his third night in a row win. If he does that, he'll be the third player to do that this year. But first of all, he needs to get past Rob Cross. Former world champion is nearly 2-1 to beat Littler and shown some good form throughout the tournament, albeit he's not won a night yet. But you think on current form, he'll need to take it to another level to beat Littler. Luke Humphries, who until last week was top of the table, he faces Peter Wright, and he's long odds on at 1-5 to get past him. He remains the outright favourite at 13-8 to win the 2024 BetMGM Premier League darts, but I can't go without mentioning 9-darter. After last week, we go again, and if you think it'll happen again, then you go back to 9-darter at 9-2.
Oh yeah, there was one last week, wasn't there? The Welshman, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it's all right. Anyway, we'll move on. The Masters in Augusta, Georgia. I keep on hearing that the weather's going to be bad, but what have you got for us?
Yes, it doesn't look great, does it? We've already got a delay owing to the weather, but fingers crossed we can get underway early this afternoon. The annual par 3 contest took place yesterday, and Ricky Fowler won that competition, but history not exactly on his side. No player's ever won the par 3 feature and then gone on to win the green jacket. His form and history, like I just said, do go against him as such. He's 125 to 1 shot to win this weekend. The Rory McIlroy debate will forever continue until he manages to get over the line and complete that Grand Slam. He hit final round 66 in last week's Texas Open to finish third, so he has a little bit of momentum. He's 10-1 to win, but the bigger prize for value might be Joaquin Nyman. Came 16th last year on 2 under par. He's won 2 live golf events in the last month, and depending how competitive or not people view live, he's a 28-1 shot, and he's due to get underway just before 3 p.m. UK time.
28-1, my goodness. 3 English clubs in European action tonight. What can you tell us, Dan?
There is, yeah. I think West Ham have got the toughest task, haven't they, at Bayer Leverkusen. The Germans undefeated in all competitions this season. They look likely to win the Bundesliga this weekend. Alonso only lost 1 of 7 versus West Ham as a player, but David Moyes has won both times he's faced Leverkusen as a manager. They're just over 7-1 to win away tonight. On the flip side of that, you've Liverpool, who are yet to lose at home at any competition this season. They're very short to beat Atalanta. The Italians did win 2-0 on their own visit, which I think was back in 2020. That was during the days of no fans owing to the pandemic. You think they can do that again? That's 8-1. And finally, let's not forget Aston Villa. They faced Lille this evening. Emery's won his last 7 quarter-finals across 4 clubs that he's been manager of. Yet the French side are 4th in the domestic division and unbeaten in the Conference League this season. And they're just over 4-1, so there might be a little bit of value if you think the French side will get a victory at Villa Park tonight.
Dan, thank you very much indeed. Can West Ham go to Leverkusen and win tonight? We'll look at that in a second. And Liverpool should, one would think, take care of Atalanta in their Europa League tie. And that was Dan Towers from BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. You've got to be 18 and over. BeGambleAware.org.
It's showtime on TalkSport with BetMGM. Making every game an occasion with tools that'll help you play safe. 18+, BeGambleAware.org.
It's all set up beautifully, Simon, when you look at it. The Europa League tonight, Bayer Leverkusen against West Ham, Liverpool, Atalanta. The West Ham game live on TalkSport 2. The other one on TalkSport. When it comes to West Ham, what have they got to do? Because Bayer Leverkusen, unbeaten, as Dan said, in all competition this season, played 41 games, 36 wins, 5 draws, no defeats. Not 1 defeat thus far. So will West Ham end that? David Moyes says, yeah, we don't fear them.
I see it as a great opportunity. I really do. We've had a pretty good run in Europe. We've played a lot of good teams in Europe. And as things go, the challenge we've got of a team who's 15 points clear, I think 16 points clear in the Bundesliga, is a big one. But one hopefully we can rise to and perform well.
I mean, Simon, this would be, at this particular time, this would be a massive scalp if West Ham could do it.
Of course it would. I mean, I think realistically, it's a huge challenge. And I think being able to overcome them is probably something that will evade Everton.
West Ham.
Everton.
Do you think it's beyond them?
Not over 2 legs, I don't. But I think in the first leg, if they can keep themselves in the tie, I think this side that Alonso has put together is a very good side. and they're not 16 points clear of Bayern Munich for no reason. So I think it would be very important that West Ham stay. If they go and get a result, it would be phenomenal. But I think if they can come back in touch, but they've not got 3 or 4 goals to come back from, then they might give themselves a chance. I would pick Leverkusen to come out of this beating West Ham. Have I pronounced it wrong again? Leverkusen. I was just like a brain fog with this bloody club.
Leverkusen.
That's why I've avoided saying it for the last 2 minutes, because I was going through my head. It's like the yips. I'm like, I don't know.
Wednesday was Leverkusen. And the day
Leverkusen.
before it was Leverkusen. And today it's on Leverkusen. I think we'll get, it's Constantine Ender kicking about. We'll get him on from Germany. Just a quick chat. How do you pronounce it, Constantine?
It's serious. I think West Ham will struggle in this. If they do win this, then it'll be a really significant outcome, because despite the fact that David's talking about decent sides that they've played, this will be the best side they've played in the tournament.
You see, I think such would be the scalp that it would shift the pendulum of opinion on David Moyes himself if over 2 legs they put Leverkusen out.
I don't think so. I think there are West Ham fans that have made their mind up about the style of football, and unless they see a massive sea change.
Who cares about the style of football if he puts them out?
The West Ham fans. We've heard it. We've heard them come on repeatedly, and there's...
Well, Mourinho got away with it for years.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Mourinho, we're talking about David Moyes, and we're talking about West Ham, and we're talking about what seems to be a large swathe of West Ham fans that repeatedly make these observations. And even Danny Dyer, the best footballer on the planet, came on and talked about the fact that the football is not great to watch. You know, they're getting results. They love David Moyes for the achievements that he's brought to West Ham, for the fact that they could have gotten relegated if he hadn't stabilised them, for the fact that they've won a European competition, which they've never done before, for the fact they're inside the top 8 in the Premier League, which they very rarely do. All of that is incidental.
Yeah.
It's the style of football that we don't like. So I don't think he gets away, even if they beat Bayern, Leverkusen.
Leverkusen. And of course, the other one in the Europa League, at least, Liverpool, Atalanta. Atalanta are all right.
Yeah,
they look after themselves in Serie A quite well. They're 6th at the moment. They won 15 and 30.
And they're quite free scoring, aren't they?
And they're quite free scoring. I think either one of the other 2 Italians would have been trickier. Milan play Roma, so one will knock the other out.
I think you're in a
quarterfinals
of a relatively major European competition. Nobody's a mug. But I think Liverpool have too much. And there's too much momentum with Liverpool. And I don't see Atalanta giving them the kind of problems that will lead to Liverpool not going past them and getting to the semi-finals. So I think that, you know, all roads lead to this clash somewhere along the line between Liverpool and Xabi Alonso.
Okay, that match, Dundee against Rangers, which seemingly can't get played because of the weather, the poor drainage at Dens Park. Marco the Postie in Drumchapel outside Glasgow. If you know Glasgow, you know Drumchapel, then you certainly know Drumchapel. Jim, all this hullabaloo about this picture is hilarious for us Celtic fans. We love it. Rangers sending cheeky emails, and the angrier Dundee get. What a great story, says Marco the Postie. Just you concentrate and posting the letters, Marco. Coming up to 11:45.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
Our free-to-play Golden Goals. Predict 6 Premier League scores correctly to win up to £2 million. And it's completely free to play. You hear that? 2 million big ones.
Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Predict 6 correct scores to win up to £2 million. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Shoppers of Britain, Lidl's got a fresh pick of the week. Save up to 30% on selected fruit and veg, like a bag of trio leaf lettuce or British cauliflower for only 89p each, or a refreshing cucumber at just 69p. Make savings part of your 5 a day and get even more in store now. Now that's big on quality and always little on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, GB only. Play set for life, and you could. 10,000 pounds every month for 30 years. Set for life.
Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Where would we be without curiosity? It's the drive that takes us to new places.
It even got us to the moon.
So satisfy your curiosity about electric cars with the Hyundai Explore Electric event, which is on until the 30th of June, where you'll find our award-winning range of electric cars, including the Ioniq 5. Explore more at hyundai.co.uk. It's the dawn of a new Hyundai.
This Easter at McDonald's, get a Happy Meal for just $1.99. Consider afternoon play dates, post-swimming cravings, and sofa movie marathons sorted. Exclusively available in the McDonald's app until the 14th of April. 18 plus, app only. One-time use daily. Ends 14th of April. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability. T's and C's apply.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shake-Up. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take times at day.
Talk sport, traffic and travel with My Dear Coloring and Painting. Find an easier route to win air source heat pump projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's My Dear.
In Argyle and Butte, the A82 is closed southbound from Bridge of Orkney to the A85 at Tindrum for recovery of a lorry that went off the road earlier. The A74M in South Lanarkshire is closed southbound from junction 14 at Crawford to 15 at Moffat after an accident. In Dorset, the A35 is closed each way between Bridport and Dorchester for repairs after an accident yesterday evening. In Cornwall, the A389 is closed from Denison Road in Bodmin for an investigation. And Skybus flights to and from the Isles of Scilly on hold with poor visibility and Russell Holding.
Thinking of switching to an electric car but want to know more? Then it's time to discover EV with Kia. Get expert advice about living with an EV at a Kia dealership near you. From charging to the benefits of driving an electric car, we're here at Kia to guide you. Explore our award-winning electric range, including the Kia EV6, the Niro EV, and UK Car of the Year, the Kia EV9. To secure your appointment today, search Discover EV with Kia. Kia. Movement that inspires.
Jim White and Simon Jordan.
Laser-guided comment, unfiltered opinion, and high-voltage debate.
A new radio landscape of comment, conflict and confrontation with two legends of sports media.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Mid-mornings on Talk Sport.
Now you can enjoy complete coverage of the Randox Grand National Festival with Racing TV, the only channel showing every race live from Aintree. To celebrate, Racing TV are giving away 4 tickets to York's Dante meeting, a 50-inch TV and a 1-year subscription to the channel. If you want to find out more, head to talksport.com/win. You can join Racing TV for the best price of £12 per month. That's a huge saving of over £200. Simply head to racingtv.com. The offer must end Sunday. Got to be 18 and over. Terms, conditions apply. Okay, little Spencer Oliver will join us at 12 noon and we will talk boxing. And of course, Tyson Fury was speaking yesterday. We'll reflect on what he said. There's Brian up in, or down in Southend, over in Southend, I don't know where Southend is. Jim, please put Simon out of his misery. It's pronounced Bayern Leverkusen. You're welcome, says Brian. Now, I read that and I thought, no, it's not, isn't it? Right. Bayern Leverkusen. You've got it now, Bayern Leverkusen.
Bayer Leverkusen.
Not only, of course, are we looking at the domination of the European tournaments and then the Euros in the world of football, live from Germany in the summer. You and I will be there, Simon. There's a small matter, or not so small matter, of course, whatever way you look at it, of the Olympic Games in Paris. Live coverage of the Games on Talk Sport. Now, for the first time in the 128-year Olympic history, track and field is set to become the first sport to introduce prize money for gold medalists in Paris this summer. Gold medalists will receive $50,000 each. The governing body of athletics said that it was setting aside $2.5 million to pay gold medalists across 40 events on the track and field program for the Olympics in Paris. But this is the Olympics. This is the Olympics, and you're paid to win. Lord Gow, of course, who's in charge of the whole thing, He explained why they've done this.
The athletes should benefit from the proceeds of growth. There has to be some clear linkage for them that we're not just growing the sport in order to fill the coffers of the sport. We're growing the sport to be able to plough it back into various elements of the sport, and the athletes are an important part of that. Although we don't benefit directly from the Olympic Games, there's a broadcast revenue distribution that we do benefit from, and I want them to recognise their part in all that. We're not a poverty-stricken sport, but nor are we football. You'd be surprised by even athletes that are in the top 8 in the world, unlike tennis players or golfers, that is a precarious existence.
So there we are. Sepko, of course, the head of World Athletics. Sam, is the glory of a gold medal not enough now?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that ultimately people isn't the glory of winning playing for England enough, that England players get paid for playing for their country. I mean, look, I'm for evolution, and I'm for evolving sports and economic benefits to sports people. I understand that there is legacy with the fact that the Olympic Games prides itself upon a certain vantage point of amateurish or amateur athletes participating, and was always on that basis.
Yeah, that's what it always was.
But the world has turned, and the broadcast revenues that they generate are significant. Sebastian Coe's job is to look after the well-being of athletes and athletics in its entirety. And so the contribution that comes from the IOC broadcasting rights that drops into the World Athletics Federation's coffers is something that, for whatever reason, Sebastian now feels motivated to give to the athletes. Whether there's something else at play here, whether there's something else that Sebastian wants to achieve by making that gesture, maybe the passage of time will tell us. But I'm not against it. I don't see why.
I think it's the Olympics. The Olympics, the modern Olympics originated as an amateur sports event, and the IOC does not award prize money. And so with that in mind, it was put to court, does this not go against the spirit of the Olympics?
No, I don't think it does. I think if the ethos of Olympic sport and Olympic spirit, and I was privileged to compete in 2 games in a very different environment, a very different landscape, I think if the ethos is to do everything you can to help and enhance the welfare of the athletes, I think this sits again comfortably in that landscape. And look, I have to accept the world has changed. If you'd asked me that question 30, 40 years ago, I might have given you a different answer.
Matt Lawton, the chief sports correspondent for the Times, says the only real surprise about Lordco's decision to give $50,000 prize money to each of the Olympic gold medal winners in track and field and tires is the fact that it's taken this long.
Well, that's the point I was about to make. Because, I mean, Sebastian talks about 40 years ago, my people in football. When I spoke to him last, I talked to him about his involvement with Nike, being involved with the IAAF and the conflicts in that particular position. Things evolve and the picture changes. And my question would have been, prior to you raising what Matt Lawson may have written, is why now? Why is it taking so long? How have the parameters changed since? I mean, we've seen broadcast deals being done of significance with the IOC for a significant period of time. Why have we suddenly decided today, and on this Olympic Games, at this time, that now is the time to do it, and why hasn't it been done before? So I'm in the Matt Lawson reporting camp. I'm probably in the Sebastian Coe reporting or philosophy of saying athletics is not cash-rich sport. You know, athletes aren't making huge amounts of money by being athletes. And if you want athletics to thrive and you want people to participate in athletics, you need to put more infrastructure into what they're remunerated through and what the sport gets per se. So I don't see why anyone would really be against it besides the traditionalists.
I wonder what Carl Lewis would think.
I wonder what the original Greeks would think about skateboarding or breakdancing being part of the Olympics.
Can we get the original Greeks on the phone, Luke? No, you
probably know some of them.
Yeah, I probably did. I was probably competing in those games. The Americans are saying waking up, though. I mean, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee awarded $37,500 to gold medalists at last summer's games in Tokyo.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Okay.
So they're already doing it.
Sure.
So now, if you like, World Athletics in the person of Co is piggybacking off the back of that.
Well, a good idea is very rarely original, isn't it? It's ultimately something most people plagiarise and re-engineer and innovate on the back of. And so there's no surprise that if someone else has done it, that it might have been the intellectual capital that gave Sebastian the leg up to do what he wanted to do in the first place. It may be other agendas at play, but what is most important is whether it enhances the level of the fair that we're watching. By doing it with the Olympics, what everyone will steer into isn't this the gold standard of what athletics is supposed to represent?
Well, it's not going to make the 100 metres race better, is it?
No, it's not. But it might make the lives of the athletes that perform in these 100 metres races better, and it might give them more motivation. It might give the next generation of athletes coming along looking at these things thinking, can I make a career out of athletics? Can I build myself into an elite athlete and be economically sustainable to be able to do that? These things might come to pass.
I mean, I think that's a good thing. Going to make a big difference to the gold medal winner.
But it's not where you start. It's where you end.
Usain Bolt's not sure.
No, but Usain Bolt was one of those rare breeds that transcended the athletics track and could, obviously his performance was exemplary and of the highest nature. But his personality and his marketability and his commercialisation of him was also well done. Yeah. But it's not where you start, it's the journey that you go on. So I don't suppose when Johnny Haynes and Jimmy Hill campaigned for the maximum wage to be reduced and to be removed from football and people starting to get paid more than £100 a week, they ever imagined that footballers would be on £500,000 a week.
No,
but the journey started somewhere. And so I think it's not wrong. And it's about how you manage the commercialisation of a sport so it doesn't lose its sporting integrity. If it doesn't lose its sporting integrity, we live in a world where economics dictate. It shouldn't be the only dictator.
Okay.
But it's part of it.
Many texts on that, 81089. I wonder if you get the gold medal and then an envelope. Is that going to be the look at the podium? There you go. That will tide you over. Anyway, the Paris Games is going to be different in more ways than one. We're going to talk boxing, the other side of 12 noon. With the delightful Spencer Oliver, who's waiting outside, so keep on waiting. 12 noon.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check stock at your local branch. We've got it at selcobw.com.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shake-Up. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max 1 reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
Happy birthday. May this year bring you happiness.
And XTB's investment plans.
Wait, what?
You don't know? XTB's investment plans are a great way to start achieving your goals.
Absolutely. Choose your desired ETFs. Select a funding methods like auto investing, allocate your assets, and you're good to go.
And the best part? It's zero commission.
Download the XTB app and start passive investing with investment plans. For monthly turnover equivalent of up to €100,000. T's and C's apply. Your capital is at risk. The value of your investments may go up or down.
Switch to EE and get our fastest full fiber ever.
Well, how fast is fast?
Up to 1.6 gig fast.
So I can live stream the match.
Whilst I video chat with my friends.
And I game. All at the same time.
That's right. All powered by BT with absolutely nothing to pay up front.
What? Nothing?
Not a thing. No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Offer ends 25th of April.
New customers, 32.5% UK availability. Terms apply.
At BetterGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers. We do golden offers like this.
Our free-to-play golden goals. Predict 6 Premier League scores correctly to win up to £2 million. And it's completely free to play. You hear that? 2 million big ones.
Get ready for the golden era in sports bet. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Predict 6 correct scores to win up to £2 million. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, Nathan, you're next. Happy birthday to you.
Mum, my birthday's not till next month. Like getting your money's worth? Grab a McDonald's Favour Meal Deal. That's a cheeseburger or mayo chicken, medium fries and drink for just $3.99. Also available via just eat until the 7th of May. Delivery price uplift and fees apply. Price may vary.
The manager is subbing on the big man. And another change now. Rodgers comes on, the veteran right back. And now the third choice goalie enters the field. They can barely contain themselves here. With new super sub from Paddy Power, all subs are now super. Because if a player in your bet is subbed off, it carries over to the new player coming on. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualifying player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus BGambleAware.org.
1089 and 1053 medium wave on DAB, on the app, on your smart speaker.
Supersized scoring pool with over 50 games of live football.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
With Lookers. Here, wherever and whenever you need us. Visit us in-store or online at lookers.co.uk.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. It's more financial troubles for a big championship club. After Leicester were charged for breaching PSR rules, TalkSport's been told Leeds United owe £190 million in unpaid transfer fees. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire told us how this was allowed to happen.
Under Jesse March, Leeds United spent a fortune on players last season. They bought players for £170 million, and it turns out he's effectively used the Leeds United credit card.
Sounds like they could do with a promotion prize money, doesn't it? Stormy weather's delayed the start of the Masters by an hour. It's currently blowing a gale there, with some forecasts saying winds could reach up to 40 miles per hour. In the meantime, the big discussion here is whether Rory McIlroy can finally get his hands on a green jacket. Three-time Masters winner Sinead Faldo says Rory's big challenge is overcoming his previous failures, having not won a major in 10 years.
The hardest thing to do in our game is delete the bad stuff.
The weather's not only affecting the Masters, it could prove to play a big part at the Grand National. Former jockey Tom Scudamore told TalkSport how it'll change things.
Doesn't look like the rain's going to ease up over the next few days, so if you've got your Optus sweepstakes, you want to be looking for horses that have got the form in the wet and the rain and the heavy conditions.
And there'll be no flags in the Cop at Anfield tonight for their Europa League quarter-final. Fans are protesting the 2% rise in ticket prices announced for next season. You can listen to their clash with Atalanta live on TalkSport tonight.
TalkSport News.
Ambulance waiting times have got shorter but are still longer than the target. And a man accused of the murder of a 27-year-old woman has been remanded in custody.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit. Add a sprint to your step with 10% off 2 or more Bridgestone Turanza All Season 6 tyres and claim a free night away for 2. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Mostly dry with some sunny spells, the odd shower in Wales and the south coast.
Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport.
It's a purposeful way that Spencer Oliver walks in and owns the studio. It's the way he sits down and looks at us and says, do I normally sit in this seat? I mean, honestly, you couldn't make it up.
If you ask me.
Listen, when the music plays, I feel like I'm doing that ring walk, you know?
Yes.
And I sit opposite Simon Jordan and I look at him like I used to look at an opponent.
Yeah.
In the eyes.
In the knees.
See your eyes fluttering a little bit and
Look into my knees.
Yeah. It all comes flooding back, does it?
Oh, it does, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was over in a flash and you'd lost your title.
It's unkind,
That's
isn't it?
brutal,
That
wasn't
was
it?
brutal and unfair.
Anyway, how are you, Jim?
Spencer, very good, thank you, mate. You're a breath of fresh air every time you come in here, and today is no exception. Just over 1 month away from the undisputed fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. It is now the 18th of May for this, of course, in Saudi Arabia. But Fury has been talking about it. The great and the good gathered in Morecambe yesterday, not Simon or myself, as Tyson Fury addressed an audience and said, yeah, Usyk's got it coming.
When the cruiserweights step up to the big boys, usually they get found wanting. Even the greatest cruiserweights that's ever lived, Evander Holyfield, when he stepped up to the big boys and beat Daddy Bone Lennox Lewis, he was found wanting. Size really matters, and we have weight divisions for a reason. Even if you look at David Haig, he was an explosive, good cruiserweight and good heavyweight, but when he stepped up to the big boy in Klitschko, it wasn't really a contest. Let's use Johnny Nelson, for instance, undefeated cruiserweight when he was cruiserweight, but every time he stepped up heavyweight, he got bashed.
So there we are. I mean, we had him in full flow there. Has he got a point, Spence, when he steps up? Size means difference.
Well, listen, I think in this case with Alexander Usyk, he may well have a point, because I do think that size will be the difference in that fight, because I think that the boxing IQ of Tyson Fury probably wins in the fight, you know, and the size will be a massive part of that. But if you're looking at the history of the sport, and you're talking about the likes of Evander Holyfield. I mean, Evander Holyfield, he did beat Riddick Bowe, he did beat Mike Tyson, he beat the generational greats of that time. You know, even David Haye stepped up when he boxed for their world heavyweight title. We beat Valuev, you know, a 7-foot giant. So I'm not so sure about when they step up, they get found wanting. I think that there are cruiserweights in the past that have stepped up to heavyweight and been very successful. Alexander Usyk is a great, you know, example of a guy stepping up. He's grown into it. 3 years he's been a heavyweight now. Yes, he's only had 6 fights, but he looks better than ever.
What's your take on it, Simon? Fury sounds extremely confident, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
And he says, it's mine, it's all about me, I'm the man to beat, and he's not big enough to beat me. That's basically what he's saying. He doesn't have the physique, the height, whatever, to beat me.
I think conventional wisdom will say that's probably right. If Tyson Fury turns up as the Tyson Fury that we've seen in the past, and the performances put on against Deontay Wilder, he'll beat Alexander Usyk. If he doesn't, and he resembles more like the fighter that fought Francis Ngannou, then he'll find himself in trouble. It's going to be a fascinating fight, because you look at what people perceive as a decline in Fury. People starting to look at him and saying he fights now in a certain way because he can't do certain things anymore. He can't move like he once did because his knees and his ankles are coming under duress, and so he's meeting fire with fire because he's been forced to do that. And ultimately, you've seen Alexander Usyk going in against, Anthony Joshua. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a world-class fighter. He may not be the best fighter in the heavyweight division, but he's a world-class fighter and a heavy-handed world-class fighter and a 2-time world champion. So he's been in with some of the elite.
Yeah.
So I think the questions that he's asking of Alexander Usyk are more about making sure it's a Tyson Fury show.
Yeah.
You don't need a history lesson, Tyson, because your history's not right.
I mean,
right? But I still think the conventional wisdom, I think Tyson Fury wins the fight, always have done.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think, you're talking about heavyweights as well. He beat Daniel Dubois as well, who's very heavy-handed, very explosive. So he's proved that he can deal with the power of a heavyweight as well. So, yeah, I'm with Simon. I think it's a fascinating fight, because we don't quite know who's going to turn up. The Tyson Fury, or what Tyson Fury's going to turn up, sorry, on May 18th.
But when you look at Usyk, if he finds a way of doing it, Spencer, can we consider him as one of the greatest ever heavyweights after only 6 fights in that weight class?
Well, we can consider him a generational great, that's for sure. When you're talking about all-time greats, you're looking in the history of the sport of boxing, in Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, but they had other dance partners to make them an all-time great. Lennox Lewis, there's a stream of heavyweights. So I think that there's more chapters to be done, I think, for Alexander Usyk. Yes, if he becomes an undisputed world heavyweight champion, he's definitely a generational great, but all-time great, I think there's still more to go.
Would victory propel Usyk, though, Simon, on a level with the man that Spence just mentioned there, the last undisputed Lennox Lewis, and past the likes of Mike Tyson?
No, it would put them in the conversation. I don't think it would propel them past them, because I think Tyson and what he did to the heavyweight division in 1986 onwards was remarkable. And the way that he decimated it at 21 years of age and beat everyone and all of them until he arrived at a point in his career where other things outside the ring changed the direction of travel and he became a shadow of himself.
But Mike Tyson didn't become undisputed champion. This fellow would.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was undisputed champion. He was undisputed heavyweight. Trevor Burbeck,
by beating
1986.
Michael Spinks, I think he got all the belts that were available. I think that was the fight that Trump in the end made, didn't he, in Atlantic City or wherever it was. So, but Tyson and Lennox Lewis are different generations. I think ultimately Usyk and Fury present an opportunity to put themselves into a conversation about the history books. But what we've got is a brilliant, intriguing fight. Usyk is a brilliant technician. The questions abound about whether he can deal with a fella of Fury's stature and size. I think Fury is a very clever operator. I'm not a huge admirer of his personality over the last 12 months, but I'm a huge admirer of his abilities. And I think he will be the best version of himself.
Yeah.
I think he'll go in and do his Lazarus trick again, which is, you thought I was all done, you thought I was out, here I am again.
Yeah.
And he'll do what he does.
Lots of messages coming in, Spencer. There's one, hi guys, listen to you every week. Tyson's boxing IQ is inferior to Usyk's. That's Usyk's advantage here. It's much closer than any of you lot think.
Absolutely. Listen, we're not saying it's not close, you know, because we won't know until that first bell rings. We're all going to have an opinion. What I'm saying is Tyson Fury has a great boxing IQ as well. He's very good. He's good on the back foot. He's good on the front foot. He knows how to, you know, he knows how to control the ring and the space. And I think that's important for him going into a fight with Usyk, because Usyk is the master, yes, he's the technician. But we also see some fragility about Alexander Usyk as well. We saw that against Daniel Dubois. There were times where we go, he looks a little fragile, and that might be his undoing, because Tyson Fury is very good. Look, Fury can box on the front foot, back foot. He don't mind having a fight, Fury, and that's where he's going to try and take Usyk. He's going to try and cut that ring off.
But I don't think Fury is as heavy-handed as Daniel Dubois.
No, definitely not. No, but he's
Really?
a huge man, and he'll know how to use that weight, and he'll know how to try and lean on him. Absolutely.
Yeah. If Usyk wins, does that end the idea, Simon, of AJ against Fury? Would that be it?
What do you think, Spence?
I don't think it will. No, it won't end it. I mean, obviously it takes something away, because but I think that fight is always the fight that will appeal to the public, because again,
it's a rematch built in. So if Fury were to lose to Usyk, you know, they've got a rematch built in anyway.
Yeah.
So if Fury was to come back from losing, which he's never done, so he doesn't know what losing looks like, right? And he didn't draw in the first fight with Deontay Wilder. He won that fight too, although the scoreboard says a draw. It still gives you the opportunity for Fury to go back and beat Usyk again, and then end up fighting Anthony Joshua. I think it's inevitable, and even more so with Anthony Joshua sort of talking in the way that he's talking in the last week or so about where his career path is going.
Well, actually, you're right, Simon. Anthony Joshua made an appearance on the Jonathan Ross show, and the word retirement was mentioned.
I always say like 35. I thought I'm 35 in October, so I'm thinking about another 2 years or so. If my body holds up, because of obviously the job, ground and pound, is tough.
Now that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you that he's thinking in these terms, Spencer?
Absolutely. I've heard that before anyway. You know, even when he turned professional, he said, listen, he would never box past 35 years of age. He wants to come out with all his faculties. He's got a lot of money in the bank. He's a smart kid. You know, his life after boxing, and that's what he does recognise. He doesn't want to be one of those that goes on too long and sort of undoes the legacy that he's sort of built up. So totally get that. I'm actually surprised he's going on for another couple of years, because he always said that was the age he was going to come out. But obviously with what's going on now, the investment of Saudi Arabia, and there's a lot of money on the table, and it is about modern eras, and I think Anthony Joshua wants to go down. He wants to test himself against the best, and that's why I say him and Tyson Fury will happen. If they both lose a game, or if they both win a game, the fight will definitely happen, because it's all about modern eras and the best fighting the best, and that's how you create generational greats and all-time greats.
Well, they have no excuses now, because the money's there and the fights are getting made, so you can't have this faction and politics being played out by promoters that can't work deals because they've got broadcast obligations and neither one of them is prepared to give an inch. That solution has been provided. So Anthony Joshua, I think, is very sensible to talk in terms of A, he's got all his faculties, B, he doesn't have to put himself in the way of more jeopardy, and C, the opportunity is now. The finances are there. If he was stepping away from it on the back of a year where in most people's minds he's rebuilt himself, in most people's minds he's redeemed himself, and I certainly think, in all fairness, with the way that he dispatched Ngannou, you know, I made the observation, it's slightly overstating it, but he becomes a little bit of a national treasure for heavyweight boxing, because I think Fury dragged it into a place with his pathetic performance against Ngannou. All of a sudden you were starting to watch boxing being parodied, and we were having people popping up from the NFL, from the UFC world, talking about where the value was in combat sports.
Sure. Yeah. Restored the faith in boxing.
Yeah. So in about 5 weeks we shall know, because May the 18th is when in Saudi Arabia Fury and Usyk get it on. Stay with us.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today.
There will be 14 minutes of extra time. You don't have to wait for the final whistle to celebrate, because your winning bet will be paid out in full at 90 minutes. Betfair. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with a 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Switch to EE and get our fastest full fiber ever.
Well, how fast is fast?
Up to 1.6 gig fast.
So I can live stream the match.
Whilst I video chat with my friends.
And I game. All at the same time.
That's right. All powered by BT with absolutely nothing to pay up front.
What? Nothing?
Not a thing. No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Offer ends 25th of April.
New customers, 32.5% UK availability. Terms apply. So many small cars to choose from. This one looks like that one, which looks like... Oh, the new Suzuki Swift. This is the one.
Yep, standard reaction to the new Suzuki Swift, which comes with serious style, a choice of cool colours, and loads of tech, as standard. Oh, and it's available with 0% APR for 2 years. Search Suzuki Swift event now to register for your local dealer launch and get set to feel good different. Participating dealers only. Suzuki Financial Services Limited. T's and C's apply. See cars.suzuki.co.uk/offers.
The Masters. Teeing off on now.
Now he's absolutely launched that.
Oh, now. Woods is in the woods.
Now that's just magic. That's a drive.
Oh, now he's just pulled that shot.
Oh, now is this the type that wins him the green jacket? Now there it is.
Stream the Masters and all of Sky Sports without a contract. Head to nowtv.com.
Sky Sports content streamed by internet. 18 plus. Full terms apply.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shake-Up. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max 1 reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
To explore traffic and travel with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat recovery VRF projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's My Dear. The A74N in South Lanarkshire's closed southbound from junction 14 at Crawford, 15 at Moffat after an accident. On Merseyside, the A567 is closed each way. Long-standing road in Bootle for an investigation. In the West Midlands, Blue Lane West in Walsall is closed because of an accident. In Dorset, the A35 is closed each way between Bridport and Dorchester for repairs after an accident yesterday evening. In Cornwall, the A389 is closed along Denison Road in Bodmin for an investigation. And trains have been stopped between Chichester and Hatton because of electrical supply problems. I'm Russell Holding.
The goals are cooling.
This Saturday, exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. Coverage from 2:30, kick-off 3 p.m.
On Talk Sport 2.
It is Thursday lunchtime, and that means we're talking boxing. There's Ian in Exeter. Guys, great show. I love it when you talk boxing on the 17th floor of the news building. I think I say that quite a lot, Ian, don't I? But that is where we're coming from, right beside the Shard here at London Bridge, and fight fans seem to love it. We'll get back to Fury Usyk in a second. Spencer's with me, so too is Simon. But 3 of us has become 5 of us, because top boxing trainer Joe Gallagher has joined us, and 2-time bantamweight world champion Paul Butler is here with us as well. Paul, hi to you, mate.
Hi, mate.
Long time since I've seen you. I think it was Dubai the last time, and on that occasion you were due to fight and didn't fight, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, long story with weight issues with Casemiro's team. We were due to fight, he ended up in hospital, fight got rescheduled, and then that fight didn't happen again, so long story with him.
Yeah, but of course you fought Sid. Now, Paul, you're going to return to title action May the 11th, just around the corner when you think of it. You're going to fight Norberto Jimenez of the Dominican Republic for the IBO Bantamweight Championship. Ellesmere Port.
Yeah.
That's where it's happening.
Yeah, I haven't
That's stone's throw from your place, isn't it?
It is. I haven't boxed in my hometown for 14 years since I turned pro. It's a long time, so it'll be nice to actually get back home and pick a belt up while I'm there as well.
Brilliant, but it's your first 12-rounder since you lost, I hasten to add, to Naya Inoue in a title challenge that proved to be unsuccessful in December 2022. What is this Inoue character like? It appears he is just a machine.
Yeah, he's very good. He does literally everything well. So if you go through your perfect fighter, you're looking at speed, power, timing, foot movement. He's got literally everything. I thought the power would be a little bit more than what it was, but I think it was his timing and his speed more than anything what actually catches people out, more so than the power.
Yeah, Paul, you know, you've rebuilt since then, and you're trying now to become a 3-time world champion, the first guy from Liverpool to actually achieve that. And you're going against Jimenez, another Dominican Republic. These guys always seem so big, by the way, don't they? You talked about previous opponents struggling to make weight and whatnot. Jimenez, again, I know on BoxRec you said that he was 5'5", but watching him this morning, typical, like, strong, come forward, punches single shots, works the body well. But, you know, the size of the guy, he's not 5'5". He looks very big for the weight as well.
We had this conversation yesterday in the gym, funny enough. Joe asked me my height, and I said 5'6", and he's like, no chance. Not a chance.
That makes him about 6'6",
exactly, he's saying he's taller than you, but I don't know whether it's the camera makes him look tall, but down on BoxRec he's down as 5'5", but it's easily a mistake, isn't it?
Well, listen, unless that Gomez that he was boxing, and Gonzalez who he was boxing, is like sort of 3'2", or trust me, he's taller than 5'5". But yeah, I mean, a great opportunity for you again to box in front of your hometown fans is like the Liverpudlians. They love their boxing up there, don't they? And I mean, your support is going to be phenomenal.
They do. I've always had great support no matter where I travel. Even Japan, we took 40-50 to Japan, which was nice. But to be actually back home, where I haven't boxed for a long time, I'm sure they'll come out and support, and there'll be fair few hundred of them in that.
Well, Joe, you're so experienced, top boxing trainer, and that's exactly what you are. What does Paul face here? What's he up against?
We were just saying there yesterday, we had a conversation in the gym yesterday, that this kid Roberto Jimenez is no mug. Listen, we were over in Dubai when he fought on the bill where Paul's supposed to have fought. And he fought a kid called Doninitis, who was a very good fighter, and got a draw. And he looked out of sorts early on, but he came back into the fight and got a draw. I've got quite fortunate in the gym, we've got a young talent coming through. Spencer knows him, Mikey Talon, the Omen. We took Spencer's name off him.
I love that.
Your blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it your name?
Oh, with my blessing, yeah. Joe rang me up. It's a mad story. He said, look, we've got this little kid that looks like a schoolboy, but we want to call him the Omen because he's like that in the ring. He's a vicious little fighter. And I said, listen, I would love to. So I went up to see him, saw him training. I thought, well, what a perfect guy to give to. Future champion, by the way.
Oh, 100%. The thing is with him in the gym, he's absolutely doing everything what Jimenez is doing and targeting Paul's body. Because obviously the thing, Paul, not bringing it up Paul, because we've got done with a body shot against him anyway. I'm sure they'll be coming to for his body. So Mikey's doing a good replica at the moment, and we're bringing other sparring partners in now as we get into the tough part of camp now with 3-4 weeks to go.
I mean, Paul, for you, is this like sort of like, you know, you're in the latter part of your career now. You've been a pro since what, 2010, I think it was, yeah. So you've been a pro a long time. You're a 2-time world champion. Is this like sort of like the last roll of the dice? So like, you know, where you go, this is the last shot at the big time. You win this world title, then great. But if you lose, then is it like one of those where you go, the rebuilding process is harder?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. Like, if it was to lose, you're looking at over a year for rebuilding, aren't you? And at my age, I don't think that'd be the right thing to do. By the time you're in title contention again, I'm 37, touching 38. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bantamweight. I'm not an heavyweight. So it's a lot tougher on the body, and making weight at the age of 37, 38 would be a lot tougher than what it is now at 35.
So you are all in, really all in for this one? Yeah, brilliant.
You like proving people wrong, Paul, right?
I've always said I'd never be that gatekeeper where, like, I've lost for a world title and there's a British champion coming through, or there's someone in an eliminator for a certain title. I don't want to be that person where I can be a name on a record where it's like, oh, Paul Butler's won two world titles. Box him, that's a good name on your record. It'll never happen to me, do you know what I mean? I'd happily just walk away after.
And you're with the best.
Yeah, Joe will always advise me, and Joe, I've listened to Joe for a long time. He's had some of the best kids come through this country, so what Joe says, I'm sure he'd advise me well, but I pretty much know myself as well. Like, the day my performances start to dip is the day I walk away.
I mean, no one can fault Paul, Simon, for going into his backyard in Japan and taking him on. It didn't turn out the way he hoped. But he went there. He went there.
Opportunity presents himself, and he tries to take it.
Yeah.
And you're fighting against somebody that will probably be perceived as a generational great. So, you know, there's no stigma about losing that fight. He didn't go there to lose, did you, Paul? You went there to win. But when you're fighting someone of that calibre, you have to walk away looking at those things and seeing what you can do to build your career somewhere else. If you get another world title shot, which you've got now,
Fair play. Yeah, I mean, you've had to literally take it in the chin now and again, Paul. In 2018, you lost to Emmanuel Rodriguez for the then vacant IBF bantamweight title. I mean, were you close to quitting the sport then?
No, I've never really been close to quitting. Probably the closest I've come was probably last year. We boxed in Uzbekistan, and I'm thinking, right, I've just shut the rust off from the Inoue fight. Let's go. And I just sat round, waiting. Through no fault of myself, I weren't injured. I was in the gym. I was always sparring. I was always ready. And I just got nothing. And then Joe got me out in December. And if I didn't box in December, I'd have probably thought, what's the point in this? Do you know what I mean? But I needed something to actually think, I'm still a boxer here. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still active. I'm still a fighter. And I got out in December. You got the bit back between your teeth. And then from December, Joe had a plan for us going forward, and
yeah, and it's all about trust, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose if you didn't trust the likes of Joe as much as you do, you might well no longer be fighting, but you do trust him and you do listen to him.
Yeah, 100%.
At times. You know what, you're like that old school sort of fighter, though, aren't you? Like, you keep yourself in condition the whole time, waiting for that opportunity, and that's what it's all about, because, you know, people will pick your name hoping that you're not in, you know, if you get this last minute opportunity, you go, yeah, I'm ready, I'll go, I will travel. And that's quite rare. You're a rare breed these days, because people like it all their own way, and they like to know when they're fighting, etc. But you're one of those guys, and Joe, credit to you for doing that, because I know that you do that with all the guys up in your gym. Just, you're constantly in shape, you keep in shape the whole time, waiting for that opportunity.
Most definitely. I think I'm always in the gym because we've got people in and around my weight to spar as well, so I'm always helping Mikey out. I'm always helping the lads out in the gym. And I'm always in the amateur gym as well, and I train the kids. I've been an amateur coach for like 4 years, so I'm always in and around the gym. So while I'm in the gym, I may as well do something.
A lot to get through, actually, Paul. Steve, with us the other side of this break. We're at 12:50 already, aren't we? We're going to talk about Lawrence Okolie, who returns to action next month. Keen to get your take on that, Joe. And also Natasha Jonas, what is next for her? So Paul Butler, returning to title action May the 11th, when he'll fight Jimenez of the Dominican Republic. And it's in Ellesmere Port, where he will get huge backing that night. We're at 12:30.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
There will be 14 minutes of extra time.
With Betfair's 90-minute payout, you don't have to wait for the final whistle to celebrate, because your winning bet will be paid out in full at 90 minutes. Betfair.
Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Businesses across the land. Whatever kind of business you're in, BT's got your back. We're talking small business, big business, new business, old business.
Top secret business.
Well, that's your business.
But yes.
Global business, serious business, family business.
What about show business?
Yes, all the businesses. So whatever your business, let us take care of business with our secure and reliable connectivity. BT's got your back. Search BT's got your back.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shake-Up. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars of the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won a free bet. Parents on a day out just happy to be here. They've got it too. An odds booster for them. Lovely stuff. Everyone's a winner. Play Coral's free reward shaker this Grand National Festival to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18+ UK. Max 1 reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
With car insurance from LV, I know I'll have peace of mind because they pay out on 99% of claims. Nice one. And if I'm hit by an uninsured driver, I won't lose my no-claim discount because insurance is simple when it's me and LV.
No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your quote today at lv.com. 99% of direct motor claims paid February 2023 to January 2024. Uninsured driver promise is non-fault accident only. Other vehicle and driver details required.
The Masters. Teeing off on now.
Now he's absolutely launched that.
Oh, now. Woods is in the woods. Now that's just magic.
That's a surprise.
Oh, now it's just
pull that sock. Oh, no, is this the type that wins him the green jacket? There it is.
Stream The Masters and all of Sky Sports without a contract. Head to nowtv.com.
Sky Sports content streamed via internet. 18 plus. Full terms apply.
The manager is subbing on the big man. And another change now. Rodgers comes on, the veteran right back. And now the third choice goalie enters the field. They can barely contain themselves here. The new super sub from Paddy Power. All subs are now super. Because if a player in your bet is subbed off, it carries over to the new player coming on. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it.
Selections only. T's and C's restrictions apply. Let's begin on the web.
10:59 and 10:53 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Talk Sport. Talk Sport. News.
Good afternoon, I'm Amelia Beltrao. NHS waiting lists in England have fallen for the 5th month in a row. The number of people waiting more than a year has also decreased by about 15,000 to 305,000. Former Health Minister Lord Bethell has told us high demand is sometimes preventable.
A lot of this is connected with obesity. These are the kinds of underlying health issues that we need to prioritise, not just a waiting list problem.
A man's appeared in court, charged with the murder of a mum who was stabbed to death over the weekend. Our reporter Nick Ellaby is there.
It follows the killing of a consumer actor who was 27. A cousin of Miss Actress described her as loving, caring, and also having a gift to make people laugh. And her mother, who's living in Bangladesh, is reported to be constantly crying.
An ex-post office boss has admitted he didn't properly reflect on the prosecutions during the Horizon IT scandal. David Smith's giving evidence to the public inquiry. He also apologised for an email saying the jailing of pregnant sub-postmaster Seema Misra was brilliant news. And Boris Johnson slammed Rishi Sunak's flagship smoking policy, saying it's absolutely nuts. The former Prime Minister has been speaking at a conference in Canada. He told the event that Conservatives around the world should unite behind an Anglo-Saxon ideal of freedom.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Leeds could be the next club to be punished for breaking spending rules, as TalkSport's been told. They're 190 million in the hole, and stormy weather's delayed the start of the Masters at Augusta. Steve's got more at 1.
In the year 2000, TalkSport established an elite breakfast show for the top 1% of former professional footballers. Alan Brazil is the original melody. Flaps up for the football.
Turbocharged twin-engine breakfast radio with Alan Cole song Roll Out the Barrel Brazil.
Turn and burn, baby. And Ray Party 7 Parter.
Wow, can you keep this finger by later? My beer's going everywhere.
The all-action TalkSport Superstar Breakfast with Alan Barrel Brazil.
I've been flying through the danger zone for 20 years. And his wingman, me, Ray Party Parter.
Tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock on TalkSport.
I feel the need for speed.
It is Thursday lunchtime, just gone 12:30. It's Jim White, it's Simon Jordan, and it's Spencer Oliver, and we are talking boxing. Of course we are, but we're in the company of Joe Gallagher and Paul Butler. Paul Butler due to fight again, and we're looking forward to that date. May the 11th, when Paul returns to the ring. Roberto Jimenez of the Dominican Republic for the IBO Bantamweight Championship in Paul's backyard at Ellesmere Port, where he is very, very popular, and it will be a sellout of that, there is no doubt. Joe, that night you're a man wearing a variety of hats because you train the man, you promote the fight, you promote the bill. Is that right?
Yeah, that's dust off the promoter's hat and get that out again. Yeah, so M22 Promotions staging the event, and it's got to be a good night. We've got a good undercard lined up for it as well. Great to be headlining with Paul, and yeah, it's good. I'm not saying I'm here to take over the Eddie Hearns or the Frank Warrens, but like I say, small hall boxing, and there's a lot of good fighters out there that don't get the opportunities in them events, and it's good to be able to have that license to go, Joe, what, we've got to go and do this ourselves, and then get Paul a seat at the table with the big boys.
So it's a towel and a spit bucket when it comes to Paul, and then the Prada suit later on when you're strutting about the place.
No, there's no Prada suit, or there's none of them pyjamas that you get up Canelo neither, so there's none of that.
Well done. No, it sounds good. Sounds good. In the longer term, Is that the direction you want to go in?
Yeah, I'd like to. Obviously busy at the moment with Restable of Fighters and also managing them as well, but promoting is something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know how it goes down. I don't think I've got a face for that, like Eddie Hearn and that. They're just the naturals out behind a TV camera. I'm more of a face for radio. That's why I'm here.
There's nothing this man Butler can do, though, I believe, is there, in the world of sport?
No, listen, he plays football to a good standard. He manages a football team. He's a good snooker. He's round the pool halls hustling for money, and yeah, he's one of them sport billies at school that you just think, oh my God, wish he'd just go away. He can do everything.
Spencer, you're looking forward to Joe's fighter Lawrence Okolie. Good interaction next month. Lucas Rozansky, we've spoken about this before, of course. Bridgerweight. Joe, what is Bridgerweight? What is this WBC Bridgerweight title?
I think the WBA are invested into the Bridgerweight now. Bridgerweight is a division from 14.4 to 16 stone that they brought in. So for Lawrence to step into the heavyweights, and we know the small heavyweights out there like Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder, and most probably could challenge for a Bridgerweight. It's a chance for Lawrence to become a two-way world champion and have 1 foot in the heavyweight division, stay in the Bridgerweight division. Really, that weight division was brought in at that weight, but really the division that needed to be brought in was between the light heavyweight and cruiserweight, which was 12.7 to 14.4. Really, there needs a division at 13 stone 5, whether you call it light cruiserweight, whatever. That's too much of a big jump. I've had a few fighters in the past that made light heavyweight 12.7, but then to go up to 14.4, you're fighting men then that are boiling down from 15.5 stone, and I think boxing, if there was a space for a weight division, it would be in that division there between 12.7 and 14.4. That's a big jump, right. A big gap.
I think that they will do that actually. Like Bridger Walker, by the way, is a boy that got attacked by a dog, and his safety system was getting attacked by a dog, and the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman come in, and that's how he invented the weight. That's how the name come about. Bridger Walker was a boy that saved his sister from a dog, and they invented the weight Bridger weight. Wow. It was named after him.
It could be Jordan weight. You could see beef from some attack outside the news building. Maybe not. So you had a few questions.
Stop, please.